All right, as always, we say we're going to put out a follow-up video to the free picks we send out. OCLR is a thinner stock than we normally call, but we did put it on watch because we thought it might move with JDSU. OCLR gap down. This is the opening 5-minute candle right here. Okay, gap down, put in pretty narrow range though, and started to come back up. So I called it over this candle's high, thinking that might get us to the catalyst that we put on the watch list during the video last night. So basically, as it broke its own high of the day, about 454, thinking we could knock down those other catalysts, and this is 5 minutes in, so this is not a typical call by me. Went to 466, and remember, 481 was a secondary catalyst, and it just couldn't get going. So, and the market, I think, was selling early too, and so came back down, gave us about 15 minutes to kill some or all, or at least worst case, take a flat trade. So that was the call in it. And then when it did this, I liked it again. I mentioned it as another possibility at 462. Hit 462 right there, and coincidentally at the same time, JDSU was basing him. JDSU broke down, and this one, same deal. The stop, worst case, was below the base, so it's about 5 or 6 cents risk. And again, I announced once it didn't follow through here and make a run through the high of the day, and a subsequent run to the 482 is what I was looking at. I went ahead and killed this for about a 4 or 5 cent loss right there, as I announced to the chat room. MWW was the other call, and never, these are 5-minute candles, never even gave us a remote chance at an entry. So that was a no trade for us. We did have some nice calls today, though. NTAP was very strong right off the bat. And on this pullback, we had members using a method. We were all watching this pullback. We had some members jumping in right about down here, first break of a previous 5's high, around 36.24. I didn't catch that entry, but the stop was right here. A huge move for those guys. What I did was when I saw sellers step in here and the sellers failed, I called it right over this candle, 36.54, with a stop below this candle, 36.43. So about a dime risk, and from 36.54, I mean almost straight up to 37.20 without looking back, and a subsequent pop even a little higher. So a nice trade in NTAP. Riverbed, a couple calls in Riverbed today. RVBD called it the first time on 5's right there. In other words, first break of a previous 5's high. After the reason Riverbed was on watch, very strong open. Okay, look at the volume here. Gap down and then just straight up. So this landed it on our watch list, and then this is what it looked like when I called it on 5's. 23.24 with a 23.11 stop. That's only what 13 cents risk, and from 24.24, 24.11 stop, and 24.24 it ended up going pretty quickly to 24.83 again on what I say, about 11 cents risk. So a very nice one there. And then as later in the day, remember we always sell into these pops, tighten up our stop to worst case scenario, break even after that. Then late in the day, Riverbed was pushing down like this. You've seen some of our videos where we're bottom feeding. Whenever you have a, let's get that off there. Whenever you have a chart that just shaped like this and then just goes into this push almost straight down, volume almost straight up, that's what we call a PFPD, or a potential final push down. And I posted Riverbed late in the day over this candle right here, 23.30 with a stop at 23.20. And really look at that late day. Matter of fact, the market's still open for a couple minutes, all the way to 23.80 on about a dime risk. So there's another nice late day. Also pointed out RIM in the same light, RIMM over this candle. Didn't have the chart projected on that, but I gave a verbal on that one too, 30.97 with a 30.80, and that one went from 30.97 to 31.45. So whenever we have that push down, that's when I get all excited and look to make a trade. That's really the highlights from the day. A couple nice trades in NTAP. OCLR, like I said, did not work. I had a couple pushes down that didn't work as well, certainly as RIM and Riverbed, but they also worked very well. So that's it. That was the highlights from today. I will try, again, I say this a lot, the market gaps so often. I expect a gap tomorrow too. I don't know up or down, but I expect a gap. So it gaps so often that, as you saw today, it's really hard for me to put out free picks based on the daily chart. Okay, OCLR, really liked, let's go to the daily, really liked the daily chart there. Take today's candle out of it and zoom in. It looked great over yesterday's high. But again, the market, as you can see, the SPY closed here and opened down here. So a big gap down changes everything. It changes all of our charts, changes all of our entries. So the best way to do it is, if you can, if you have the time, to be in some sort of a group trading platform where you can trade as the market unfolds throughout the day, because there's a lot of good setups out there. But when you look at the daily charts at night, man, it just gets difficult because you just know the market's going to gap. So in my opinion, the best way to trade. All right, I'm not going to babble any further. We will see you guys, or put out a video. Hopefully we'll send out a free pick again next week. But keep your eyes on YouTube, because we'll try to go over the calls from the day and post them on YouTube so you can kind of see what we're doing on a daily basis in our chat room. All right, have a good night. We'll talk to you later.